Okay, welcome. This is going to be our fourth and final video for the festival video project. In this one, we're going to actually be working on some CSS code that will change the form around to change appearance. Some of the things may be a little bit confusing to you, but as we dive more and more into CSS, you'll begin to fully understand it and actually experiment on your own. So let's get right into it. We are now on page 254, and we're working on applying the CSS to the form. It's a little bit tricky to understand some of the things that they come up with. So just be careful when you do it. Save it. As I always tell you, save it early and often. So if you need to go back to a specific part, you can without having to do a whole bunch of things. So we have the form, we have the input name and the input type. You can see that in there. So they want us to open up the sign up HTML in live view. I have already done that. And then in the design pane, they want you to select the label for the checkbox field. This is the label for the checkbox field. Now remember, I still have the content for form that goes in here, and we'll delete that at the end. So this is the content over here, and design select in here, change the current top over here. So let me go into live view, get rid of the split. Okay, that's a little better. So now we have the content. Let's actually go and look at what we have in code view. So you can see that the P tag is selected, which has the input and the label in here. So that takes care of that. Now, what they want us to do here is they want us to select a specific tag, the subpage content P tag over here. So you can see it's a whole bunch of things that are in here that need to get addressed in here. So let's go back and review this again. In the design pane, we're going to click the label for the checkbox field. That's this, the label. Make sure that you don't select the entire item itself. Then we want to select the P subpage content. Okay, so we have the subpage content and the P tag. Now you can see that it is also selected. So there's more than one specific way to select. So you can do it whatever way, again, is the most comfortable. So we're going to click on the P tag selector to do the entire content. And this time we're going to change it to H2. So we'll click on this paragraph here. We'll change it to H2. And boom, you can see how that changed as well. So you can read over here, it says CSS rules apply to content within a form object, just as they do with content of a regular page area. Okay, that you can probably figure that out. So now we're going to kind of mess up the input text box over here, or checkbox in here. Not a big deal, because we're going to fix it in the next one. So what we need to do is we need to go to CSS Designer, and we're going to create a new selector. And it's just going to be plain input. Hit it twice till you do it. And we want the width 100, the margin, float, and clear. So let's go to the width here. And we're going to make it 100%. You could just as easily have typed in 100% if you chose the actual PX by accident, not a big deal. Okay, margin bottom is going to be 10. And we're going to do float left. Just click it one time. And if you click it a second time, it'll turn it off. And then we want to do clear both. That is this, not this, in here. You'll understand clearing a little bit. That basically tells whether or not things can wrap around them after a specific time. So now you can see our checkbox is up top over here, and that's okay. That's actually going to get fixed in a little bit in here. So we finished page 255, and taking a look at the top, you can see that the width of all the input fields are pretty big. I would change the size of them individually, but right now that's not part of it. So we're going to just stick to what the book tells you over here. If you want to do it, I'll show you how to do one at the end of the video, and you can always play with it to your thing. I think it's a very good idea to constantly be experimenting on things after you get your project submitted and turned in, and say, well, let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. The advantages of turning it in first is if something happens, you don't have to worry about going back and fixing it and losing any kind of sleep over it. So hopefully that won't happen there. Right? So what we're going to do here is we need to create a no clear property. So it's actually going to be a class. So we're going to type in no clear. Hit the enter key. And all we're going to do is we're going to make the width auto. Go back up to layout so I get the width here. And it's on auto. And we want the margin right to be 10. And we're going to do clear none. So we need to find clear, and this is none. Now nothing's happened. And the reason why nothing happened is because this has not been applied to it. So we're going to go back into the document window and design pane. In here it does not actually say design view, but we know it's live because you can see what's there. And we're going to use the element display to add the no clear class. So we want to apply to the both buttons in the bottom form as well as the checkbox in here. So here's the checkbox. Let's click on no clear. And boom. So that took care of that. Then we need to do the same thing to the bottom buttons. And one more time. And that takes care of that. So it tells us to choose view, live view, and hide live view display. So we're going to do what it tells us because we are good people. Live view options. And we're going to hide live view displays. Boom. So now you're not seeing all those other little blue tags and things of that nature. But for editing, you want to do that in here. So now we have it. I'm going to save everything here. And let's just take first name here. So let's go into design view. And we have first name over here. And let's choose this here. And we can make it a, let's see. Let's go into code view and see what we have in here. And first name label in here. We can modify this label. So let's, for the heck of it, let's just go in and choose, we want only this form over here. So let's find the form name. Name is register. So let's click on register. Let's go to current. Let us click on new. So we'll go to design and let's click on new. And there we go, finally. So let's just go to this here and let's just choose form register dot label or space label. Okay, and again, I encourage you to do this. And we'll just make all these labels bold and italic. So you can see how you can mess around with it. So we have font weight will be bold and font style will be italic. So you can see we have changed all of those things to a specific way. You may like that, you may not like that. We can also change the actual, we can do a float left in here, and let's see what that does. But again, I wouldn't be doing the entire labels. I would be creating a class in here and applying the class to the ones that I want. But I just wanted to show you a little bit of the flexibility that you have by doing that. So that takes care of this. I am going to now do a manage sites. I'm going to go to Festival and I'm going to export it. Need to find my festival. Here it is. And it's already there. So we're good to go. And done. I always recommend exporting your site in the very beginning. So that takes care of it. You don't have to worry about it. That's it for this video. I encourage you to go and make some different changes over here. You could go in here and you could change the name. So let's just do one other thing. Let's see. Name is first name. Let's go into code in here. So the ID is first name. So let's create a ID first name. And let's just make the size 50%. Just so you can see the different flexibilities that you can have. And let's see what that did. And you can see that makes a little bit. Then you could have done float to things of that nature. So I am not going to save this, just to show you the different ways that you can do different things is what I really wanted to do. So you could make this a float left and this a float right, and then you would put a clear float after that, and then you can do each one in here. That's what you would normally see. But however, again, that's all cosmetic stuff. So hope this helps. So have a wonderful, wonderful day.